Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back once again for another marvelous episode of the Swaggy Sports Podcast. We're going into week 5 of the NFL season. We're taking this podcast today, Taji, as a State of the Union address, a mental health wellness check as we digress into the first half or first quarter rather of the NFL season. How you doing, Taji? Anything you need to get off your chest? Any opening statements you'd like to give to the
No, I
people?
got a I got a few opening statements, all related to my squad. Red October, go Phils. We're
Talk
going
to me.
back. We're winning this year. Team's looking special. We
Okay.
got the Birds. We're sitting at 4-0 once again. It's awful reminiscent of last year, but
Very.
it's last year was a dream for both teams, but it was a possibility. This year, it's like expected. It's the standard, and I'm rocking with that.
Okay.
And to my Sixers, you guys are not doing anything. You got Drew Holiday going to the Celtics. You got Dame going to the Bucks, and we got James Harden that we can't even get to play.
Yeah,
That hurts,
that's interesting.
but it is what it is. Joel, please don't leave us. I love you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna happen. He's gonna leave us eventually. That's all I got for now. Congrats on your win against the Tokers, bust downs. Big win. We're struggling now. We're putting it back together though. You guys are the 1 seed.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't really say that I'm surprised as the first 4 games of our fourth annual Urine Football Association has gone underway. The Naptown Bust Downs your hosted was the mostest. We're getting it done. We're 4-0 to start off the season. I gotta give thanks to C-Mac, bro. He's carrying my squad like I thought he would. I had a lot of shocked faces when I picked him up with the first pick of the draft, but I knew what I was doing. I felt confident. I really did with him.
Okay.
Um, NBA is a whole other episode right there, bro. But the Dame to the Bucks, I think, is going to be dangerous. I think that
Same.
is going to be a very dangerous tandem right there. I don't think you think about Braun and AD on the pick and roll. I don't think there's a more lethal pick and roll than Dame and the Greek Freak.
I don't see how they lose.
I don't mean either, bro. I really don't. And then all you really need is a healthy Middleton in that mix. He's giving you 20 a night easy.
He
That
turns into prime MJ some playoff nights as
some
well.
playoff games he's looking like Jeffrey. It's gonna get scary.
It's gonna be scary. I'm scared for my Sixers.
It's gonna be interesting. That the NBA is gonna be interesting. I'm excited. Which starts this month, by the way. It's creeping up. It's definitely creeping up. But
Good time of the year.
yes, let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. I want to start our first segment as we go into week 5. A couple of teams have shown us what we expected. A couple of teams has shown us absolute thinking of the Bengals here, absolute just embarrassment, shocking performances the first couple of weeks of the season. I want to do a contenders or pretenders segment where I'll name a couple of squads, ask you, do you think they'll be into the running, into the dance towards the end? They're showing us what we thought they would show us, or some teams that are giving us some pump fakes, or the other way around, like what is going on with this team right now? Mental health check on those squads. I'm gonna start with this squad, Taji. They're 2-2. They're getting their dog back, your dog back, Cooper Cup going into next week off of IR. The Los Angeles Rams. If they stay healthy, they've shown, which also makes me want to ask you, is this a system situation? We have Nakua coming in, bringing in as wide receiver 1. He has been sliding, son. We gotta
Is
ask. I gotta ask. One, do you think that they could turn it up, actually contend for a playoff spot after it seemed like they were going into a 2-year Super Bowl hangover? How do you think they're looking? And two, what do you think about the whole system or player topic that's been brought up since Nakua has been getting activated in this McVay offense? I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Los Angeles
okay.
Rams.
I say the Rams, um, they're contenders, low key. They're going to contend for a playoff spot. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they contend for much more than that. But they seem to have a chemistry on the team, and they seem to have it more figured out than everyone thought they would. Matt Stafford's back and he's healthy. I think that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they got young talent. They got Tutu Atwell who's also playing well. They got Puka Nakua who's playing out of his mind.
Out
The
of
defense
control.
still is led by Aaron Donald. Yes, they're young and everything, and not many big names, but they're coming off a Super Bowl not long ago. They have still core members of that team, and when Cooper Cup comes back, he's going to go insane.
Yeah.
Puka Nakua is doing his thing, but he's playing. You see the game he's playing. He's playing the intermediate system, which Cooper Cup likes, but Cooper Cup also takes the top off.
Mm-hmm.
And Cooper Cup scores touchdowns.
Yeah.
Puka Nakua has one touchdown. He's don't get me wrong. The play calling is great. The system is great. McVay has a great system over there. But to say that Cooper Cup isn't Cooper Cup, he's a system player is crazy. He
Mm-hmm.
catches the slant and goes 80. Puka ain't
Yeah.
catching the slant and going 80. He's in the Super Bowl. He's gonna say, "All right, I'm running this route because the safety is lined up here, and I'm supposed to run this. I'm just gonna break it deep anyway."
Mm-hmm.
Puka Nakua's not doing that. He won the Triple Crown. People don't do that.
Yeah.
Yes, he's on pace for that. He has better numbers than Cooper Cup did through that many games, but he doesn't have the touchdown numbers that Cooper Cup has. He's not the big plays that Cooper Cup has. He's catching everything and he's doing his thing. And respect to the kid. He's on my
Yeah.
fantasy team and he's doing me well. Um, but I like the Rams. They won't beat the Birds this week. We always beat them. They're not that good,
Yeah.
but they're going to make more noise than I expected. That's for sure.
Definitely. I'd have to agree with that. Looking at the stats right now on ESPN, we have Sam Howell first because we just had our nice little doozy of a game last night. But if without that, he would be Matthew Stafford. He'd be second in the league in yards, right under Tua with 1,229 yards. He has 3 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So that definitely would have to tighten up. But
Classic Stafford.
yeah, classic. I would have to consider them contenders as well. Like you said, I think that with surprising you, I don't know, bro. The Cards kind of acting like they don't want Caleb Williams. They might act and Mr. Gannon, he's trying to bite in them ankles. He's trying to get busy with them over there. But I think they should be in on top of the division once it's all said and done. I like how they're looking. It's just good to see them actually playing good ball because we haven't in a minute. You know what I'm saying? As far as since I feel like their Super Bowl run was ages ago because of how bad they've been playing. But I wanted to mention them just because I think that they're getting themselves back on the tracks. Let me mention another team here. We got to talk about the Bengals. We got to talk about the Bengals. Just on all across the board, just it's a ghost of themselves. Joe's not looking good. The defense, I did think them losing, they lost Bates. That was going to be huge for them, and I think it's showing big time. They lost to the Titans the other week. They're just losing to teams that they just have no business to. Now, mind you, last year they started off slow as well, but it wasn't spooky like it is now. Joe just got that check. You hate to see it because obviously that's what everyone's going to be talking about. Just got paid, 4 pockets full, and now you're playing like a quarter and a half. So it's just kind of like we got to figure out what's going on. If you were a fly in the wall in Cincinnati right now, Tazi, what do you think they're talking about? How can they get back onto track and become Joe Shiesty and the boys that we all know and love? Talk to me.
It's so you know how I feel about Joe and Jamar and all of them. That's my guys.
Mm-hmm.
Respect them. I think they're a great team. I think thought they would be a contender this year. And they start slow. That's classic of them. But this is like you said, it's spooky. It's a ghost of themselves. Jamar, I'm always open. I'm always
Yeah.
after everybody. Everybody seems to be a little fed up. Jesse Bates, you see what he's doing on the Falcons. He's balling.
Mm-hmm.
He was their best
Mm-hmm.
defensive player, and they lost him. They let him just walk out the door. That was a bad play by them. Joe hasn't been healthy, so that's not good either. But he's always usually getting sacked a bunch of times anyway, so he's not as doesn't always have freedom anyway with his injury.
Right.
So he should be doing more. I don't know what's going on over there. I honestly have no idea how they're playing so bad. Um, and I can only imagine if Jalen Hurts got paid the bag like he just did, and started off the way Joe is playing, if him and Joe reversed,
Yeah.
Jalen, they would be on him every single week. They'd be, he don't got it, da 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 da. But Joe, everybody's just like, oh, he'll be okay. He'll bounce back. He'll bounce back. It's all right. And I believe that. But I
Right.
believe that
Right.
about both of the quarterbacks. But it just shows the double standard.
Yeah.
Just a double standard there. Um, but the Bengals, they have to get it back going. They have to start looking like they're having fun again. They have to start
Right.
looking like their friends out there playing football like they usually do. Because right now, they look bad. And they don't look like it's getting any better. Joe said he's feeling the most healthy he has going into this week. But is that going to change anything? They got to make some changes. And
I
they got to do
agree,
it
bro.
quick before the season starts getting away from them.
Yeah. Because
Luckily,
it's too
though, their
talented.
division not great. I not looking as great as we thought they could have this year.
Yeah.
But the Ravens, I think are going to win it for sure now. But the Bengals could still find a way to creep up to that too.
I agree. They gotta figure it out. Like you said, bro. And now he's held to a different standard. We have to hold him accountable. He's getting paid like so he's got to play like we know he can.
Mm-hmm. And
I
he will.
do. He will. They'll get out of the rut. We need this, like you said, we need to see it sooner than later because I think the Ravens look valid. They do. Their competition hasn't been that crazy. They lost to the Colts, which is inexcusable, which I think is a whole different conversation. I think we're starting to see the fall off of Justin Tucker. He's missed 2 field goals. Obviously, the man, it was from 60. That's not normal, but it's normal for him. And he's starting to show a little bit of the rust, if you asked me. But that's a
And my
totally
man
different
is a kicker
conversation.
too, of
Is
course.
he? Of course.
He's like the 28th ranked kicker. He's horrible right now.
Yeah, like I genuinely think I hate to say it, don't want to say it, but I think we're starting to see the fall off of Jay Tuck. We could see something change, but
Mike Elliott's the goat.
Mr.
He's got
Clutch,
more
bro.
points than the Giants do this year. The Eagles kicker.
Yeah. We see them in 2 weeks, and I genuinely don't know what I'll do with myself if we lose that game. That's a whole different
Can't.
conversation, though. But
Saquon will be back just in time to play you guys, I bet.
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, bro. Like playing opposite to our expectations. There's no doubt in my mind Daniel Jones is going to slice us up in 2 weeks, just because it's just how else would it
Just the
go?
way it's supposed to go.
It
Not
wouldn't go
supposed to
any
go.
other way. It wouldn't go any other way. But that's a whole different conversation. But the Bengals, I think they should get out of the rut. You hate to see whenever the wide receiver after the game frustrated. It's given me when I saw that, it gave me extreme Ocho Cinco Palmer energy. Like, man, we can't have this again. And no, I
Yeah,
am not sitting here comparing Joe Burrow to Palmer. He's much, much, much better. But I'm just saying it gave me that energy and I don't like it. That's all, and that's all I'm gonna leave it at with that. I think they're gonna figure it out though. Let me mention
that's
another
very
team to you.
draw from the Bengals anyway.
Right.
It's probably a
Yeah,
pretty good one, honestly. I like that.
it's a fact. Um,
2 Heisman Trophy winners, two
yeah,
number 1 picks, two
yeah,
elite receivers. I mean, it's respectable.
that's gonna be fun. Um, Let me bring this team to you. They are sitting at 3-1. They've beaten the Giants, Rams, and Panthers. They lost to the Lions, the Seattle Seahawks. We went into the season basically saying if Geno does what he did last year, they should be in the same mix that they were. He's looking all right. I think they're relying more on their running game more this year because they have some great running backs in Kenneth Walker and Carbonet, the rookie out of UCLA. Will they make the playoffs this year? What do you think about them? I think they're strong enough. Their defense showed some. I mean, it was the Giants. Don't hear me wrong, but their defense is mean. It was giving me extreme LOB energy the way those DBs were flying around in that primetime game. Devin Witherspoon, rookie, Tariq Woolen going into his second or third year. He's a dog. How do you feel about that team right now? Do you think they can keep that strength going into the playoffs, or what? Do you think they'll fall off? Seattle
I
Seahawks.
think the Seattle Seahawks made the playoffs last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think they're going to be finish one of the top teams in the NFC, and I think they're going to make it. They only got better from last year. They
Right.
added another talented receiver. They added a talented young corner. They brought their leader back in Bobby Wagner, which is huge.
Huge.
He's back
Huge.
where he's supposed to be. And they're running the ball again like they used to. They got Charbonnet, like you said, brought him in as well. Second round pick after Kenneth Walker, second round pick last year.
Mhm.
So they're relying on the run game. They got their weapons on the outside. Gino, got to be Gino. He's started slower this year, but he'll settle in. Uh, I think they're gonna make the playoffs, and they even might win a game.
Yeah.
They might steal one. But they're not quite Super Bowl contenders, but they're definitely contenders.
Right. Right. Okay. I feel the same way. Roster's loaded. One as far as like top to bottom, they have some very good players. Like offensive line as well is very underrated. What's the dude that they drafted not too long ago out of Texas A&M? His name is Charles Cross Jr. at tackle. He's been showing some very good promise on PFF. I was looking at. I like them. I like them as well. Slow start for Gino, but like I said, I think their running game is complementing them well to where he doesn't have to. You thought we needed him to do a little bit extra to help them get over the hump, but I don't think they'll need it this year as long as their running back game stays stout.
I
Kenneth
agree.
Walker, I have him on a couple of my fantasies this year, and he's treating me well. He's treating me very well.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
But I have to tune in on the LOB comment
Yeah.
that they got the young bulls there, and it seems like that's what they're trying to build. Witherspoon's a dog.
Hmm.
Um, Kobe Bryant in the back is trying to ball. They got Diggs. He's gonna ball. They're looking good. They're looking good. And like you said, Woolen last year snapped. He's a good corner. They got a lot of young talent out there. They're building something good over there.
Yeah.
And I like the LOB comparison. That's definitely what they're trying to get back to with the run game and the defense.
Yes.
Uh, which, what a recipe. I mean, that's my favorite defense I've ever seen.
Right.
So keep chasing it. And shout out to Witherspoon. Had a hell of a game. Hell of a game.
Hell of a game, bro. You love to see it.
Fun to watch. Sacks and all from the corner.
Yeah, dogs. And I think weren't they saying like basically Kobe Bryant had to move position or well with Jamal Adams getting hurt, they had to move Devin Witherspoon down and he looked
Yeah.
like a
And they
hybrid
put Kobe
Bugatti.
as safety. He was a corner last year. So they're moving them all around. They're figuring
Interchangeable,
it
just a
out.
whole bunch of Swiss Army knives and that like I really like that back end. Young and just dogs. They're just all hungry. No, I'm excited to see how they turn out. Uh I also put on this list. I think we still have to see a little bit more, but the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, I think their recipe for greatness right now is just bar none. Kind of like the Seahawks. Jared Goff, he's only got to manage. They're putting him in a position where all he has to do is get Reynolds, Laporta, the rookie
Take
tight
care of the
end,
ball.
Sun God, Amon-Ra, just get them the pill, let them slide it. Occasionally you get Montgomery to rush for over 120 and 3 touchdowns. That's house money. They're playing with house money at that point. And they're barely even using Jahmyr Gibbs, which I do find surprising. They did draft him in the first round. So like, we got to use them. I understand it, but with the running back game and the running back checks nowadays, they're probably doing it the smart way to kind of I guess they have the advantage in the situation if he were to pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like keep him on the hush type of deal so he doesn't have to have a check in 4 years. But the Lions, they're 3-1. Um, Aiden Hutchinson is looking so
Dog.
mean, so mean. Um, Another one of those like Chase Young type of energies for a team, bro. Like it'll really make you want to run through a wall. Like that's half the battle out here. I feel like, dude, like especially after watching what I watched last night on Thursday Night Football, you gotta want to be out there. And Aiden Hutchinson wants to be out there. He'll probably play offense if you let him.
Mhm.
I really like that squad. How you feeling about the Lions? I would assume you feel the same way.
Yeah, we're high on the Lions coming into the season about their potential and their ability to win the division, which we thought
Yes.
they would do. Um, So I'm high on the Lions, and like you said, surprised they don't use Jahmyr Gibbs. Drafted him early, but it kind of reminds me of like the DeAndre Swift situation where they never really used him. It didn't really make sense. He was a good player.
Right.
You knew he could
Right.
get busy. You knew what he could do, but for
Mm-hmm.
some reason they just didn't use him. They bring in Jamal Williams and give him all the
Right.
touchdowns.
Right.
And when his time comes, they still don't even pay him. So it kind of reminds me of that situation. I don't understand it quite.
Mm-hmm.
Montgomery's a dog. Absolutely, he's going to get his yards. But Gibbs is a big player, and you draft him. You gotta let him work out a little bit.
Right.
Amon Ra, balling. Their team solid. Losing Chauncey hurts, I think, for
Big
their
time.
defense and for their like true contender ability, because he's a heart and soul cornerstone type of dude, and they
Mm-hmm.
needed that because their defense was not very good last year, and they're taking strides in the right direction for sure. But he would have been a key component for that. And
Yes.
without him, that hurts their true chances at winning it all. But their line, they're solid. They brought in good draft picks, like
Yes.
the rookie, Branch, balling. Aiden Hutchinson, when they drafted him first last year,
Yeah.
balling. Laporta's been balling. Everything they've done has been beneficial to their team. Um, Jared Goff's got to settle in. He's kind of getting a little sloppier right now,
He
but
is.
he
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 is.
just gets back to taking care of the ball and playing point guard, and they'll
Right.
be all right. They're going to get to the playoffs, and I think they're
Um,
going to win the division.
I like that. The Packers aren't giving us any reason to think that they're the king of the North right now. I think those
Well,
days we got a while till we see that again. I think.
I
Um,
think we got some shootouts over there for the division. I don't think it's going to be somebody controlling it forever. I think the Pack might be able to fight them for a little
okay.
battle. It's going to be a battle over there for who's gonna take it, the crown.
I like that. I like that. I saw it, they put this stat out after they won against the Packers last game. Dan Campbell, the first Lions head coach to win 4 straight games against the Packers since Monty Clark in 82 and 83.
Wow.
So that I feel like that shows if anyone didn't think the Lions were heading in the right direction, that is the biggest telltale I feel like you
Yeah.
should need.
Wow. That's crazy.
Um Lions 3-1. They beat the Packers last game, 34-20. Like I said, it seems like they found a really good identity in running that pill. And that was a very good point you made comparing the Gibbs situation to Swift. Maybe that it's kind of weird though. Maybe that's just not their style of back because when
I
you
get,
compare Montgomery, he's like Jamal Williams last year. Montgomery had
absolutely.
3 touchdowns last week. So it's very interesting. It's definitely interesting. Can we say it's a bad idea? I don't know because you could argue that the Lions and the Eagles, they both got what they needed out of that trade. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah.
it's hurting them that they don't have DeAndre Swift anymore, but
Right.
it's definitely going to be something to look at because it's kind of looking like a repeat situation. And at the end of the day, you got to hold them accountable. You got to ask, that's a first round pick. You could have used that pick for something else if you're just going to end up trading them in 4 years and not really
Right.
use them.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. It's good talk though. I like that. I wanted to mention those couple of squads because they've shown us some things that we like, some things that we don't like, and we had to see how we were feeling. Let's go into the next segment.